The Google Helpful Content update is finally over and it's had a massive impact on the SERPs, both human and AI SEO websites. So today, what I'm going to show you some of the biggest SEO mindset switches I've had based on what's working and not working for me for my websites. And I'm going to show you step by step some of the actionable free SEO strategies, tactics, and tools you can use to get more leads, traffic, and sales from Google. Let's go. All right, so I'm going to get straight into what I've learned from the Helpful Content update. Obviously, it's actually finished today and it was a lot shorter than last year. So the Helpful Content last year actually lasted 38 days. And after just 13 days and 11 hours, the Helpful Content update has been rolled out. And this has created some massive mindset switches that I think we all need to make as SEOs. And a lot of people are already making it, which is fantastic. But there's a lot of people out there who don't understand the other side of the coin when it comes to SEO. And so I want to share my thoughts on what I'm going to be doing differently and how I think SEO should be done long term. Obviously, I've talked about setting up websites in 27 minutes, and you can do that really quickly. And actually, the results from that have been pretty good. I mean, even during the Helpful Content update and the core update, both of these sites are on the upward trend, right? So if you look at where they were 3 months ago versus now, the traffic has gone from 17 clicks a day to 54 right here. And that's for a website we set up in about 20 minutes. Same for this one as well. So it's pretty crazy. It went from 8 clicks a day, 54 again. It's on the upward incline, as you can see, and it's doing quite nice. But I think there's two key elements that we need to think about long term for both of these sites and all the new sites that we set up. And this has become particularly apparent when I look at the results of the Helpful Content update. And I was listening to Niche Pursuit's breakdown of the Helpful Content update and some of the winners and losers. And there's some really interesting trends there. Now, obviously nothing statistically relevant, but I would highly recommend looking at that video. It's probably the most interesting breakdown I've seen of the Helpful Content update so far. And very, very good insights there, plus some actionable stuff. So essentially what's changed? Well, what I've seen is that a lot of niche sites that are purely there for creating SEO content and, making a bit of money with ads, making a bit of affiliate money, etc., but aren't real brands, are getting hit by this content update. Now, on the contrast, if you look at websites like Cura.com, which isn't SEO optimized content, it's user generated. Any random person can go on there and post. Their traffic has gone up substantially. Now, I'm not going to judge whether that's right or wrong, but what I would say is it's very interesting because if you look at user-generated content, it's not designed for SEO. It's not designed to make money. There's not really any ulterior motive apart from just getting a question answered in the best possible way. For example, if you look at this tweet, right, you can see that a lot of niche sites lost their traffic and got hammered during the update. Now, the SERPs are very messy right now. There's a lot of errors. I've seen a lot of bugs. ChatGPT content that says is written by ChatGPT in the content is ranking on Google, and the SERPs are very messy. But what I can see overall as a trend here is basically that Google favors user-generated content because it's not designed for SEO. But there's another trend here as well, is the fact that with these niche websites that you're building, right, if you don't have any sort of signs of authority or expertise or trust, or basically if you don't show on your website to Google that you're a real person versus just a niche site trying to make money with ads or affiliate or whatever, then that's where the problems start. And that basically comes down to trust. So for example, this website, juliangolder.com, you can see that the total clicks is up to 6,920 versus the previous days before that, which were 5,340. So basically, the total clicks has increased significantly. Whereas if you look at this website, Chipper Birds, which has no authority, no brand, no e-signals, no trust signals, not even a real person on the website doing the blog, if you land on this website, you can't really tell who owns it. And when you do actually go on the About Us page, it's just some random geezer called Dale Garrett who no one's ever heard of, and there's no social media links, etc. And that potentially, no one knows, could be why the number of clicks are down 20%. Whereas if you go onto juliangolder.com, obviously you know who it is, it's a real brand. Even the testimonials and videos, etc. on the website signal authority that this is a real person. And then you've got all the social media links. You've got an About Me page with the social links at the top, and it's very clear this is a real person with unique images, etc. And also it's not just a generic blog theme. So if you compare this website versus chipperbirds.com, it's very clear. To me, it doesn't seem like it's about the content, but it does seem like it's actually about the trust signals on the website and the level of authority that it builds, and basically showing in multiple ways this is a real person, a real brand. And I think for websites like this, chipperbirds.com, it's very fun to do these experiments and case studies, and the traffic is still up like 5x year on year, which is great. But if you want to make sure this website survives long term, and it's not a quick fix, but you have to basically build a around the website to show authority. That's what we're doing with juliangoldie.com. And this will probably only become more and more important as the website grows. And this is a mindset switch that I think needs to happen for a lot of people. And I have talked about it in previous videos where, we say this is an experiment, a case study, it's fun to mess around with, etc. But would you do this on a website you're really serious about? Absolutely not. That's why we still sell human written content to our clients instead of doing AI. And additionally, if you want to stick around long term, building a brand is really what it's all about. Having said that, there's a possibility that you could do everything right and still not rank and still not recover your rankings, especially in the short term. This is a long-term play, but I think that's the way it has to be. If you look at the biggest brands in the world, Forbes.com, for example, they get millions of traffic because they're a massive brand. So you could do all of this and still not rank in many instances. It doesn't work overnight, but these are basically the actionable things that you can do to improve your website and grow your traffic. And like I say, the SERPs is still very messy, but if you're playing the long-term game and you're not worrying about update to update, but you're thinking long-term, this is a mindset switch that I'm having for my own niche websites. And it's what I see working really well for this website. So if you want to implement this, let me show you exactly how to do it. This isn't everything, but these are some of the main things you can do with the 80/20 approach, right? So if I compare the differences of, say, Chipper Birds that's taken a hit during the helpful content update, and I compare that versus Julian Goldie that's performed really well during the helpful content update and the core update, these are the differences. Now, I don't think it's one thing or one little tactic or one little hack that you just do and then you start ranking. I think it's everything in combination. And some of those things get picked up, some of those don't, and you don't really know which ones. So you might as well optimize for them all. So for example, if you look at the About Me page of juliangoldie.com, it's in the navigation bar right there. Then you can easily understand who I am, what I do, and where I'm from. Additionally, it's got all these ways that you can contact me and real links to real social media profiles. And then when you scroll down, it's got actual, real, unique content from me. These aren't AI generated images of some random author who doesn't exist. You can even see there's real interviews of me, getting asked questions, etc., testimonials, all this original content that are tiny little trust signals to say this website is good. Now, I don't think Google's crawler is going to scroll through all of the transcripts of all those videos and then check all the social media and then check if I'm a real person, etc. I just think these are tiny little trust signals that work together in combination. And it's a tiny little 1% that add up. Additionally, a lot of the content that we've published recently and is ranking really well has original content inside it. So for example, on an article about how to use ChatGPT for link building, it's got unique original content that only I can create and only I can show because as I'm demonstrating my first-hand experience of using all these different pages to rank. So it's not like you're just taking stock images from Unsplash, which anyone can do. You're not taking just random product images from Amazon that have already been plastered all over the internet. This is unique original content that no one else can find. It's actually one of the reasons inside my mastermind I've created this new YouTube 6-week roadmap because I think for branding and trust and authority long term, YouTube and Google just work beautifully in combination, right? Because you can create videos and then you can create blog content and they both link together very, very well for building a real business, for making an income and actually converting traffic into sales. The other thing I see with Chipper Birds, for example, if we open up this in incognito so you can see, there's a lot of ads on the page. Now that might not be bad for SEO necessarily, but when you put all of these factors in combination, no real author, no trust signals, no original content, ads plastered everywhere, it's got all the red flags of a generic niche website. So if you scroll down the page, you got ads on the sidebar, you got ads at the bottom, ads inside the content, etc. Whereas on juliangoldie.com, there's no ads at all. So just by reducing ad frequency, potentially you can improve your rankings. So you just find other ways to monetize. Now, I'm not saying ads is a bad way to monetize because, for example, this website, chipperbirds.com, it makes $1,000 passive a month using ads. But it's just something to consider and factor in and say, right, if I want to build more trust for my website, is there a smarter or better way to do it long term? Additionally, I would say with user-generated content platforms like Quora, LinkedIn, Reddit, etc., where you can go in and post, that's an opportunity for you to go in and take advantage of that. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but you can check out my Parasite AI SEO video right here. I would also check out my interview with Charles Float, where he lays out exactly step-by-step how to do it. I posted about it on Twitter and how he ranks so well for it. Got nearly 100K views, which is insane. And essentially user-generated content platforms, as long as you don't spam them, as long as you're actually creating value, then they can be a really good way to, number one, recover short-term if you've taken a hit during the helpful content update. And number two, for building your brand. And if you have a bigger brand, then you build up your authority. And that comes back to trust signals and building and looking like a real business to Google. The other thing that I would say here is like, if you look at the actual homepage of the website, if you're a real business, and this is something Niche Pursuits talked about a lot as well, so I would recommend checking out that video. But basically, you can see on the homepage, it's all blog posts. Now, if you looked at a real business, e-com business or an agency, I mean, if you look at my website, etc., does it have just a bunch of blog posts on the first page? No, because it's actually a real business trying to sell something. So potentially this is a red flag to Google. Now, like I'm saying, all of this is conjecture. No one really knows, but these are some of the warning signs to look out for. Now, another thing that I would say is like, if you're creating content about AI and you have a website, I have had some people message me and they're trying to do content about business and then dating and health all on the same website. And that can work. But is it sustainable long term? Is Google going to like that? Or is it better to limit topics to your own expertise? For example, at juliangold.com, the only thing we really talk about is SEO or SEO agency stuff. We don't go off on a crazy tangent. And that demonstrates more authority on the topics we talk about with real life case studies. It also makes it cheaper for Google to crawl your site because it knows you're an authority on certain topics and all the content on the website links together nicely. So overall, the strategy is build more trust, build more authority, look like a real business, not just a niche website. How do you do that in practice? These are some very actionable ways that you can improve the EEAT of your website, boost your rankings, get more traffic from Google in a more sustainable way that protects you in these situations. Now, is it guaranteed to work? No. Are the SERPs perfect? No. Will it work quickly? Probably not. But when everyone's creating crazy amounts of content with AI, it's extremely easy to do. Within the next few years, 99% of content is probably going to be AI generated. Is this a way to build a moat, create more barriers to entry, and basically make sure that people can't just replicate your website? And then, of course, if you do all of this and combine it with link building as well, then you've got some real trust signals going to your website, which means that you demonstrate trust, you demonstrate expertise, experience, authority, and trust in a more sustainable way. Whereas these case study websites are absolutely fun. They do rank, they do make money, but to protect your website long term, can you level that up and make your website a lot better? So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to my free ChatGPT AI SEO course, where it's also got some other videos on building EEAT plus building backlinks to your website, feel free to check out in the comments. It's got tons of prompts, tools, etc. in there that I would highly recommend checking out. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.